This is the album cover for Time Indefinite, music by William Tyler. I'm Sam Smith. I've worked with William on his other albums, on the art, on several of them, and through our life together as friends who grew up across the street from each other on the same dead-end street on a creek. So we have a deep history and shared affinity for certain aesthetics and vibes, and this is one of the first things he sent me. It's an album cover by Simon Finn. It had a feeling for him that he wanted to capture. He described it as like some kind of weird, bizarre cartoon character, which I do cartoons. I drew them all growing up, but I don't really do much cartooning anymore. You know, kind of this like almost children's book looking thing, but there's maybe something slightly off or surreal about it. Also, this poster for Tarkovsky's The Sacrifice. William loves film and kind of just the ideas that certain films convey, or the moods, or even a poster for a film. I'm also a poster artist. So he had found this Japanese poster for Tarkovsky's The Sacrifice, and there's something here as well where there's a peaceful beauty, but then also an unsettling and almost violent burst of flame. These album covers, particularly the Boards of Canada, which is, one of those great electronic groups that William and I got into when we were young, clearly disturbing about the lack of faces on this kind of familial pastoral scene with these children and family members. All kinds of things kind of were thrown into the pot based on the mood he wanted to evoke, and also listening to the album that he sent me and describing the songs. You can see this man with the colored stripes in his face, something about that, something surreal, or this face melting on the side. The image in the middle here of this kind of like distorted, melted exposure was interesting to me. These are just some of the other images we pulled, and I would send images to William and he would tell me the ones that felt right. It's not even about the aesthetic, it's about the feeling that he wanted to convey. The album cover on the right is Polish and then the left is not, but they both use abstract colors and kind of the breaking up of an image, and there's something there, I thought, that it would involve some kind of extrapolated, broken down system of streaks or colors. William is very philosophical in his music, and we really can talk about the ideas behind the songs. I searched through a bunch of public domain, copyright-free old, etchings and drawings from different resources I've found. And I found this, and it was kind of a watershed moment that William and I both really loved, because again, you have a pastoral, peaceful scene, something nostalgic about it, but then there's something almost bizarre or supernatural happening at the same time. We're almost going into a deeper level of a breakdown of the understanding of reality or something. This one by Ashley Moy, I have to give her credit, because this was by far the one that hit the feeling right. I just found this like on Pinterest or Flickr. Again, a family scene, right? And a landscape, but look how the whole fabric of reality is distorted. This is perfect for what we were looking for. And there was also this idea that the album cover should be like something you find digging through bins at not even a thrift store, but like an antique mall in a random small town where someone happened to donate some old library LPs. The aesthetics of library music albums are always really interesting because they have a kind of almost corporate factory-made quality, but there's also a naivete to them. So this was key, and especially William and I really loved the idea that the album cover would just say Time Indefinite on it, and it would actually not have the artist's name. If it did have the artist's name, it would be very small. The whole idea was you find this record in a bin, and it just says Time Indefinite, and it makes you wonder, what the heck is this? The reason Playmobil is so important is because William and I would grow up going to Phillips Toy Mart, and we'd go in this back room where they'd have the Playmobiles, and we'd collect the Playmobil sets. But they also had these catalogs, and they were for free, and the toy store would just have them there, and they're incredible design objects now that you have to get on eBay. And I do. William wondered if even for the title, typography, Time Indefinite, it could almost be rendered in something like the Playmobil type. Of course, this is a commonly used style of typography. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it felt just generic enough and fitting of the tone we were going for. So early drafts of the album cover looked something like this. I was also thinking about like a nuclear scene, like the book cover of On the Beach. Looking at this early version of the cover, I think William even mentioned the idea of like a family on the beach. In this case, it's kind of a rough image of a father, a mother, and a child. The spark on the side It's almost like I wanted to suggest it could be a fallen comet or something on fire. So something wrong, and kind of but awe-inspiring at the same time. The lines going out the side is just a way of time stretching this moment. And my process involves usually creating a lot of variations with different colors and aesthetics and palettes and type choices. The final cover, the way the forms are shown here was a happy accident. It was beautiful. I was coloring the forms in with a pastel tool inside the lines, and I took the lines away, and this is what you had. So it's like almost like a child has colored in an image and the lines have been removed. William and Psychic wanted to tease the album with a track, and this is a single cover for Flight Finale. And this was pulled from something William and I always had in our back pocket when we were younger, wanting to make album covers, and it was Chris Marker's La Jetée, which is also referenced in 12 Monkeys, which is probably how we came across it in the first place. But these images of the airports, the photography here, something about it we just always wanted to use for an album cover, so I got to parlay that a little bit into this single cover. For the gatefold design, we had this opportunity to create a whole different kind of image. William wanted the gatefold to feel very grainy and raw and a collage, whereas the cover felt very clean and pretty and unvarnished. And I won't give away the source of the actual inspirations behind this image because I want to keep some things a mystery, but we definitely pulled a few references from book covers and things we loved. I love any kind of photo collage from Czech film posters and book covers. But this is really made to set the listener into the world of the album. There are multiple references to concepts from the album, songs from the album. If you look closely, you will find some of them. But the image of almost this fallen goddess statue as large as a mountain looming over this flooded landscape, and specifically a flooded playground, was something I had in mind. Just William and I reflecting on childhood and what has been lost. In fact, the playground shown here is the exact same style of playground, this wooden type of architecture that they would build in the mid-90s that we had at our high school or middle school that we went to. So it's a very similar playground, and we have it flooded with onlookers and a ranch in the background. And yeah, the idea of the Amina goddess looming, sleeping behind everything, either asleep or gone, I don't know. And then you have like almost a Las Vegas scene as well here. William and I just really love these, the apocalypse of dreams almost, is maybe what I would call it.